What is going on, guys? My name is Maria. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you can tell by the title of this vlog, I'm going to be talking about my breast augmentation. So 4 weeks ago, I decided to, actually this decision was made way beyond that, but 4 weeks ago I got a breast augmentation, and the day before I went into my surgery, I actually went on my Instagram and obviously shared this news because it was something I was keeping kind of to myself, but then I said, you know what, it's something I want to share, and if there's something that I can bring insight to maybe someone who's thinking about doing it, I'm like, I'm just gonna share this because I always try to be as genuine and as transparent as I can, and I just decided to share this with everyone. Obviously, before I start this video, I do want to say that I did this for myself. I've been thinking of doing this for so freaking long, and honestly, I'm so glad I went through with this. And there is a time and a place for everything, and I think this was just the time, the perfect time for me to do it. Ever since I was 12 years old, I've had, like, I don't have a big chest. Like, as soon as I hit puberty, it just didn't happen for me. I actually got to a C cup when I got to my highest weight ever, which was, I think it was 2013. I was eating whatever the heck I wanted, and I didn't work out as much. So yeah, there is that. I got to a C cup, and I know I could get to that point, but I wasn't at a comfortable weight. Anyway, I've always had small boobs, and I never felt feminine enough. And you know what, I was trying to talk myself out of it, and also with the whole breast implant illness that started going on and everyone was bringing awareness to this, I kind of took a step back and I said, do I really want to go through with this, even knowing that it can be bad for my health and my body will not take it well. So it took a lot for me to go through with that and the fear of something like that happening, but there comes your own research, and it plays a role obviously when it comes to everything. My dog is seeing another dog outside. What I want to say is, if you want to do this, and maybe if you have like been thinking about something like this, take your time, know why you're doing it, and if you're doing it for you and no one else but you, because you know you're gonna feel better, you're gonna look better to yourself. Do this for you. Don't do it to impress others. And I know, like, a lot of people have asked me if I'm doing this because of competing and it will help me get my pro card. Honestly, I've seen so many girls turn pros or even compete at the Olympia level, like Jennifer Dory. She has stepped on the Olympia stage and she was like top 5. What I'm trying to say here is, no, that was not the only reason why I got it. Yes, my last show, which was in December, I did Olympia Amateurs, and that was the leanest I've ever been. And my conditioning was something I've never really achieved before. So I did get to a low body fat percentage, and honestly, even with the, I'm gonna be quite honest here, even with the stuffing and everything going on, that I just didn't like my top, like how I looked. My proportions and symmetry could be a lot better now that I've got a breast augmentation, but it doesn't define it. You know what I mean? I could have kept on going and trying, and who knows, maybe like I would have eventually turned pro. But I know that this is not only going to bring more confidence and better self-esteem to me, to myself as a person, as an individual, but it also helped me as a bikini competitor. However, I do want to emphasize that this was not the driving force for me to get them. This was something long overdue, and like I said, this was the time for me to do it. And financially, I am at a place where I could afford it, so that is basically why I went through with this. And one day I just decided yes, and I just started the process. I started looking for doctors and blah 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 blah. So anyway, the day I posted, obviously, that I was doing it, I had so many girls reach out. I actually was shocked because I didn't think that many girls would want to do them, or I thought so, but everyone was like so shocked that I was so open about it. And honestly, there's no, unless you like take people's opinions to heart, like honestly, I had people telling me that I looked better before. I still do. And honestly, it doesn't affect me because, like I said, I was doing this for myself. But the amount of people that reached out for me to share this journey, and because they want to do it, I was shocked. And I was so glad I shared it. And here I am, giving you my insight and my experience and personal thoughts about this. And yeah, I just wanted to give that, I guess, long ass intro there. But I did a Q&A on my Instagram asking, like, are there certain things you guys want to know about? And honestly, they were very like repetitive, and I found like the pattern of what people really wanted to know. What I did find weird is like so many people ask for my cup size now, which I don't think that's relevant to you guys, but I guess to some people it is. And these were females and males, obviously. So, I mean, it is what it is. Also, the number one asked question was what size I got, what type of implant I got, and what kind of incision I got. So I got silicone. Why did I get silicone? So I was very, very conflicted in this area because I did so much research when it came to silicone and saline. So saline is basically a little implant, like the outside of the implant filled with salt water, saline water. And silicone, I went with cohesive gel, which is the gummy bear implant, and it feels like a freaking natural boob. Like it has like, when you squeeze it, it just feels so good, like a pillow, like a gummy bear. I don't even know how else to explain it. So obviously you want the silicone for the feel and the look. And saline, the reason why saline is like was something that I was steering towards at some point was because if it ruptures, your body will just absorb it because it's salt water. And you will notice a rupture because there will be a decrease in the size of the implant, obviously, and then you can address the issue without any health complications. Obviously, you will have to get a revision, probably get a replacement, and that will cost money for sure. And then it comes to silicone. Silicone is a gel, so if it ruptures, like even a microscopic like rupture, your body will start detecting it as something foreign. Obviously, it is already foreign as is, but if it starts to leak or it opens, even like a little pore, it can lead to like complications, maybe pain, infections, and stuff like that. So in order to ensure you will not notice if it ruptures because it's cohesive gel, it doesn't just empty out like the saline. This will be like a slow process and you will not notice that there's a rupture. This is why you have to get checked every 3 years. You have to do MRIs or ultrasounds, and these come at your own cost because cosmetic procedures and stuff like that is not covered by Health Canada. So now that is not what I was worried about like the checkups, but I was worried about the fact that it can happen. You know, and I wouldn't notice because it's something that just doesn't just shrink like the saline implant. But I'm investing this much on a breast augmentation, and I love the silicone and feel of the cohesive gel implant, so I went with that. And I went under the muscle because obviously that will be the more natural look than over the muscle. And saline, also the look of that, it can create ripples because it's fluid, so it's like a bag full of fluid. So I wasn't down for that. Cohesive gel is a more full kind of implant, so that's what I went for. In terms of size, I got 415 cc's. Now this size, I didn't want to go anything below 400 because I am thinking ahead. So I know I'm gonna put on muscle as time goes by, and I don't want to outgrow my implants. I know so many girls who went moderate size and then when you're into bodybuilding, you add muscle mass to your shoulders, your arms, your back becomes wider, and then your ratios kind of change. So your anatomy in general looks a lot different. And this is something I consider because I do not want to spend the extra money doing a revision if at some point I feel my implants are way too small. So this was a big factor when I was choosing my size. Also, 415 might not look the same on someone else because you have to consider breast tissue that is already there. I didn't have much, and even now that I'm like 5 months post-show, my boobs didn't grow that much more. So there wasn't a lot of breast tissue to begin with. So that's something you need to consider. And anatomy. We need to consider as a whole, like your ratios, waist to hip ratio. Obviously your upper body, is it wide? Your rib cage, does it stick out a lot? And how wide your back is, your chest. Like some girls already have a wide cleavage even when like there is no like if your boobs are not big, like you can tell like if your boobs are going to be far apart. And this was another thing. People ask me a lot if I got the internal bra procedure, and no, I didn't. Not everyone needs it, to be honest. Like I'm saying, if your cleavage is already like close together and very like a small gap, you won't need internal bra. I know some, like from pictures I've seen on the internet, some girls, like the before pictures, their boobs are already separated, if you know what I mean. So even when you put the implant, they will look to the side, so they might need the help of an internal bra procedure. But my cleavage and my boobs were already close together as it was, even on my before. So internal bra was really like not really something I needed to do. So like I said, it depends a lot on your anatomy, and that's something you need to decide with your doctor. However, not every surgeon does the internal bra method. Mine doesn't, but it's something I brought up, and like the importance of that. So you need to really talk that with during the consultation and with your surgeon to make sure that that is something that you really want to do, because like I said, you're investing a lot. You want to make sure that you're content with it, and you go over everything and anything before you go through with it. So silicone 415 cc's under the muscle, and I got high profile. So you can go high profile, moderate, or very low profile. Very low profile is like for people who have already big implants, and then they want to, big breasts, and they want to get like a reduction or even a lift. Then there's already a lot of breast tissue there, and then you want a little bit more of perkiness or volume. Then you go with the low profile. And then the moderate or high, I didn't want to go moderate. Moderate gives you more of that teardrop look to your breast, while high profile is more like a perky, high, always high, like you have a bra at all times look. It looks a little less natural, I feel, just because natural breasts fall like a teardrop kind of thing. But this, they're still gonna look natural. If you go for the kind of proportionate to your body look. I feel like if you go too much, then you can overdo it and it will look too porn star like. I don't know if I'm making sense. I mean, to each their own, to be honest. I respect if you go really, really big, but I didn't want my boobs to be the main focus of everything, you know? Like, I'm all boobs because I'm 5'2", and I'm 126 pounds. So, yeah, I'm a very small person, so I didn't want to overpower my physique. Okay, so if that makes sense. And like I said, some people ask me, are you worried that they're gonna look different when you're lean? Not really. Like I said, I don't have a lot of breast tissue to begin with, so I know they're not going to get crazy or different when I lean out. And yeah, there is that. Another very popular question I got was, what's my cup size now? So that was weird, but I didn't measure my boobs obviously until this past week because there was a lot of inflammation, a lot of fluid the first couple weeks, so I wanted an accurate, obviously, sizing, and I needed to buy new bras and stuff, so I actually turned out to be a 32D. I thought I was going to be a double D, but I guess, like I said, considering there was no more inflammation, it was 32D. I was previously 32A, and I never bothered wearing bras or anything. I would just wear no bras or sports bras to do everything. But now there is like more, so there's more to kind of control, and hence I'm buying bras. Like, who am I, guys? I'm getting all fancy over here. But yeah, I'm a D cup now. Wow, never thought I would say that, but I'm so happy with it. Another question I got was, I scared of BII, so breast implant illness. Like I said in the first little introduction, yes, I was. And I talked about this with my doctor and obviously with a nurse during the consultation. Because of COVID, things are a little different. They do a Zoom call, and then once you are sure to go with them, you go for sizing in person. I talked about this with the nurse and then the doctor at the sizing consultation or session. She told me it is very rare to happen, and there are so many factors that come into play when things like that happen. According to my surgeons, in the years of experience that he has, he's only had 2 people who thought they had BII and they felt instantly better afterwards, but he's also had 3 more people who thought they had it and nothing changed. And I actually know someone personally who got an explant, and she told me that it wasn't her implants. There was something way beyond that that she figured out later on was the reason her body was acting the way it was. So, like I said, it's a risk you take, and you're kind of putting yourself in a situation where it can happen or it can't. My doctor said, like, there's thousands and thousands of girls with with implants out there, and honestly, it's not that common. So I was scared. I did my research. I did some look at some studies, and there's honestly so many things to consider, and it is scary, to be honest, because I was like, okay, there is a foreign body in my body, and what is my body going to do? It's going to fight it off because it doesn't belong there. So I was scared, and that was one of the reasons why I was talking myself out of it, and so many reasons why I said, no, I'm just going to embrace the itty bitty committee, and I'm just going to be happy with God gave me. But I was realistic with myself, and I came to the conclusion that I wanted a breast augmentation, and I went for it. So there is that. Another question I got a lot was, how was your experience with your doctor? How did you choose him? So I went with Dr. Jugenberg, also known as Dr. Six in Toronto. I was actually down to 2 doctors, Dr. Eldestein, I can't say that last name, or Dr. Six. And the reason why I went with Dr. Six was because I actually know a couple girls actually that I messaged, and I didn't know it was done by him, and they turned out to be by him because I actually loved their boobs, so I wanted their recommendation, and 2 of them ended up being from him. So I was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. I know 2 people personally, and I love the look of their breasts. Sounds creepy, but I was like, this is it, I'm going with him. And then after the consultation and the entire process to get to everything was pretty smooth, and they're very, very attentive to details. So I really loved the entire experience, and I have nothing but good things to say about him and his team. So if you're looking for a good doctor, I highly, highly recommend Dr. Jugenberg. I have nothing good and bad to say about him, but good things. So that was one of the reasons why I went with him. And like I said, like look for people who have like, you know, personally that have recommendations. Also do your research online. You can see their galleries and their credentials and everything like that. So don't go with what's cheaper, because it's your body. And if you are already going through this process, make sure that you are not chipping out, because this is like not like something you take lightly. Your health, your body, you're putting something in your body, and if it's not done right, there could be complications that could be life-threatening, to be honest. So do your research and don't cheap out. That's my advice. People also ask me the cost. You know, like, saline is cheaper than cohesive gel, and like I said, I didn't want to cheap out. If I'm already spending this much, might as well add a couple thousand more to get what I want and be happy with the results, so I don't have to potentially do a revision down the road and spend double the money and go through the entire like recovery process again, because I really don't want to. So yeah, it was over 10 grand, and it's not cheap, like I said, but it's something that you have to do for yourself and see what you can handle financially and in every other aspect of the process, I guess. Next question. Did you do the internal bra? There were so many questions that were kind of similar. Your pros, cons list, biggest risk factors, post-surgery thoughts. Okay, so pros and cons, I kind of already said. Like, the cons was mainly like I was concerned about breast implant illness, and the pros, to be honest, outweigh all the bad ones now that I have it done. My thoughts post-surgery. So the first week was the toughest. I'm gonna say this right off the bat. Now, not everyone might experience it the same way, because I know some girls recover so fast and by the second week they were up and moving, or even like a few days after. To be honest, you need someone at least 3 days after your surgery with you 24 hours, because I couldn't even eat myself. So my fiance had to take time off work because he had to spoon feed me. And the first day of the surgery was the roughest, because obviously you're put under. Like, I've never been put under. And turns out I don't do well with anesthesia. So I left the same day, the clinic. You get to go home right after you wake up. They let you like lay down for 30 minutes to kind of like come back to life and see how you do. And to be honest, as soon as I got up, like I got off the bed, I had to ask for a bag because I was instantly vomiting. And the worst thing is, like, you have to fast 12 hours before the procedure and stop drinking water 8 hours prior. So I had nothing in me to vomit. So it was painful, to say the least, because at that point you're just kind of letting out gastric juices, which is the worst freaking one taste. It hurts because it's like a burn, and I couldn't help it but just cry. Like the entire time, like I was coming home, it was the worst thing because I just felt disgusting and I just felt sick to my stomach. Obviously I was sick to my stomach. And then I got home, I got in bed, and I couldn't move. Like, I legit couldn't move, otherwise I would just puke, because I would get just like that little motion and it would just come right out. And that night I tried to just stick to crackers and chicken noodle soup, and it helped a lot. And so I wanted to see my boobs right away. Obviously you're curious to know what they look like. And that night I just got up, I asked Jeff to like take me to the washroom, and I wanted to see my boobs. Turns out I hated my boobs. I hated how they looked, because obviously there's a lot of inflammation, fluid, and just like the implant had to be pushed up. So it just looked so high and the boob just looked elongated. It was the ugliest thing. And I honestly thought I went too small. I told Jeff, I'm like, I think I made a mistake. I picked the wrong size. do not get ahead of yourself there, because your skin is so tight. Like even the doctor at 1 week when the checkup was, he's like, your skin and your muscles are so tight, and the implant was basically like flattened, like out basically just being squeezed, and it was just elongated. But give your body time to recover, and the first 2 weeks you're gonna hate how they look. Do not worry, and do not judge your results and your doctor before that, because that is not how your boobs are gonna look. Even like 6 months down the road, that's when the actual look of my boobs will be like the final look, because they will drop and your skin and everything is kind of adapting to the new size. So don't freak out. The first I think it was like 3-4 days, I couldn't really get up by myself. Like obviously you can't like support yourself at all. Like you can't bring your arms up. Like it was just T-Rex kind of thing. And by the third day I was eating by myself. But yeah, I didn't rely too much on painkillers. To be honest, they give you Percocets and they give you T3s. And I just like took T3s only if I really needed it. But I really didn't need it that much. But yeah, I kind of didn't want to mess up my stomach with all the stuff I was taking, so I kind of like played it tough. But there were some times where I was like, okay, I need painkillers, and they help you sleep too. So that was something I just wanted to be knocked out, because you have to sleep on your back for 6 weeks. The first few nights, I recommend you getting a body pillow or a pillow chair. You can find those on Amazon. I'll put a little picture here of what I mean. I didn't get one of those because I have a big body pillow that I got from Costco, so I was using that with 2 other pillows to kind of sleep on a 45-degree angle. Just because like I almost dropped my camera. You have to sleep straight, and like things cannot move. You can't sleep on your side, because otherwise obviously everything is like kind of moving and like kind of healing certain ways. So you have to create the pockets for the implants. So if you sleep on your side, your boobs are gonna create the pocket going sideways, and you don't want that. So no one wants a uni boob. So be careful, follow what your surgeon tells you to do, and your recovery process is going to be a little bit long, but it'll be worth it. I was a little bit impatient at first, and I tried doing cardio after 1 week, and it didn't feel right. And I listened to my body, and I was like, okay, what am I doing? Am I really trying to mess this up and potentially prolong the healing period? So I decided to listen to my body, and guys, of course I do this over here. I decided to listen to my body and just listen to your doctor, and everything shall be fun and fine. But you can work out for 6 weeks, and you can start moving around after 4 days. And cardio, I didn't start cardio until 3 weeks, and this past week I actually did 2 lower body days with like no weight, so just body weight. And obviously I couldn't load my back or anything like that, so no upper body until 6 weeks have passed. In terms of cardio, I have started cardio every other day. I do bike, stationary bike, or outdoor walks or treadmill walk, and I just do low impact and no incline, and that's it. In terms of the first week, which I tell you that it was not that fun. So this is something I actually didn't know about, and I wasn't ready for it because I wasn't warned. Apparently it was on the post-surgery guide that I was given, but I was not thinking of reading that thing like right after my surgery. So I think it was day 5. Day 5, guys. I got zingers. I didn't know what it was, but I thought I had like moved wrong and I had messed something up. I wasn't worried about that, but then I was like, okay, it's normal. Apparently it's just nerves regenerating, and obviously things are really sensitive, and when you breathe there is like muscle contractions, so those muscle contractions are going to trigger some nerves just like to just go crazy. So that lasted 3 days. So day 5, 6, and 7. As soon as day 7 hit, I felt day and night. I just felt better. I felt like I could just walk around by myself, do things by myself. And obviously I had to do my checkup, and doctor said everything was good. He did emphasize again, my chest was really, really tight. So at week 1, I had to like start softly massaging things. I know when you do armpit, you start massaging, or they give you that band so things are pushed down. But when you do breastful incision, obviously I did that. So under my breast, you cannot start pushing things down until a week after, just because you don't want stitches to rip or anything like that. So at 1 week I started massaging lightly, and at week 3 you start like massaging a lot more aggressively, just to push things down. Even though gravity always wins, as my surgeon says, you have to help your body a little bit push things down, because they're so malleable at this point, because things are healing. You don't want to wait too long to massage them to help them drop nicely, because then they're gonna heal the wrong way. And yeah, the first week was rough, but day 7 you're gonna feel day and night so much different. So that's the thing, and that is basically my experience post-surgery. And yeah, you just have to be patient. Make sure that if you don't want to gain weight, because that was one of the things I was like, how am I going to control like my weight and not working out, because I'm a very active person. I like move around a lot. I'm always doing something. So I was scared that I was gonna gain weight like crazy. But I actually like kept things I started eating intuitively. And my weight is the same as like before the surgery. To be honest, I actually started dropping recently. Obviously, because I'm doing more. So it's just a matter of being patient, like I said. And just listen to your body. That's all. So I was worried about weight, but nutrition is the main thing. In terms of upper body, like I said, 6 weeks. So people want to like kind of like, when will you be able to train again? And why? Well, basically 6 weeks for upper body, just because your muscle contraction, like when you do shoulders, when you do triceps, biceps, there's obviously some muscle contraction, just because pecs and like these areas stabilize the shoulder joint. So you want to make sure that you're fully healed here before you move on to that. Even lightweight. So I wouldn't rush that process. And even with lower body, like I said, I did body weight and very lightweight. Are there any exercises you will stay away from now that you have implants? Yes. My doctor said because it's under the muscle, I will have to stop training chest like altogether if I don't want my implants to kind of separate in a weird way. And also because your pecs are kind of being trained, they will grow, or they will just become like a certain shape. I don't know if you've seen when like some bodybuilders are more leaned out, you see their boobs separate a lot more, and like you see the chest muscle. So yeah, I won't be able to train chest, and I will stay away from any chest press or flies or anything like that if I want to preserve the aesthetics of my breast. What made you get them? I already explained that. Did I go for the natural look? Like I said, I was looking for something based on my lifestyle, what I do, and what I just liked for myself. How about is the healing process? The healing process, like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. It's very subjective based on your pain tolerance, how well or how patient you are with the healing process, and if you have someone with you to do things to make the process easier, so you don't go and do things for yourself and then you end up probably like doing something you're not supposed to do. Like I wasn't, sorry, I wasn't allowed to bring my arms up higher than my shoulders because the first 3 weeks, like I said, your implants are trying to create the pocket. If you go this way, I can actually feel my pecs contracting. So you don't want the contraction to kind of push the implants up or sideways. So you have to stay within this range. So T-Rex arms for everything. And like when I wanted to reach for something, I actually had to buy a stool because I would like stand under the stool and go like this to grab things from my cupboards or things like that. It's kind of annoying, to be honest, but it's all worth it. So that's it. And I don't know if I missed something, but if I did, I'm actually going to do another vlog to follow up this one after I do my first upper body session in 2 weeks and see how it feels, because I'm interested in seeing, because some girls say it's like very uncomfortable the first couple weeks that you start doing upper body. So I really want to like see and let you guys know how that goes. And now it's getting dark, so it keeps getting darker here. So if I missed something, guys, you can always comment down below and I'll address that in the next video. And I just want to say thanks for the support and for like joining me in this journey and being so supportive. And yeah, I'm here if you have any questions, and I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, take care, and don't forget to do things for yourself and yourself only. Anyway, bye. Love you guys.